Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Misfortune. So, where we left off, we were talking to a a royal family of sorts. We haven't dug too deeply into their origins, their reasoning for being there, besides looking for the note that Met currently has. So, we were debating on how we should, or if we should tell them that Met has the note, or just lie saying that we have no knowledge of this note. If we were to lie, that would require a roll um, via the World of Dungeons rules. If we were to um, tell them that there's a cook in the back that has a note reading it willy nilly, that might upset the family that we're, well, debatingly trying to help. So, also, let me show you guys where we left off on the notes. Um, So the notes, questions I left for myself were, well, I tell the family where the letter is. Met has a letter. Should we go check on Sparky? Which we will. And what will the magician do now that Tracer is out? Tracer was a magical bird that was following us, and it was killed via bookshelf. So education does matter. However, that kind of fact, that kind of story element is way out of our range of current situation of things. I think that's up to me to decide or how when and how Tracer will return. So again, it's a side plot, and we'll just have to probably tackle that later on. Okay, so let's begin. And I did mess up on something, and that was with the character sheet. I was just going through my character sheet, haven't checked the inventory in some time, which is right behind my head, my big head here, and I forgot to remove the sealed note parchment that Met currently has in his hands, reading carelessly. We do have the box. We have the scroll still. We haven't used the scroll yet. We have the map, and then everything else is just common inventory. So, and FYI, we are still right around here of the map. Once we travel north, we'll see if it's a trail, which most likely it is. But in any event, let's begin. So, I'll pull my notes back up here. We're talking to the family, and he tells us it's a letter. Everything about the letter, taking it south to the family because of that dying grandparent who couldn't travel with them because of their health. They were just too old and frail, and inevitably they most likely got, unfortunately, killed via lava or something. So, um, we have to decide now. This is going to be a big turning point for our character, I feel, because this letter is of big significance for these random passerbys, and I feel if we do help them, that might benefit us. Perhaps they know of a route up north. Even though we have a map, the map's probably not too incredibly detailed. It just has like labels and somewhat path. It's ripped too, so it's probably torn up and pretty worn out. So this family might have resources up north. If we tell them that we're traveling up north to deliver something, we're trying to reach the Temple of Legion. Maybe they have knowledge of the Temple of Legion. Probably have as an exchange. We tell them that the guy in the back has the note, or to protect Met, we tell them that, oh, I saw that note. It's in the back. We don't mention Met. We don't mention that whole thing, and we'll try to reseal it. Maybe put the note back in and just say that the note was open. That might cause suspicion though. So let's go with that. I think I'm not going to roll for this, like rolling what our character does. I'm going to decide what I will do. I decide to tell the father that after what he told us, that I have knowledge of this note presence, and it's in the back. I said that the note was found after everyone left, and the server perhaps took the note in the back for safekeeping because they didn't want any personal belongings left out on the floor. I'm going to tell that. How does the Let's roll to see how the father response to that kind of vague lie. That actually might be a it's a partial lie. So we will have to roll 2d6 for this. Now does this will this warrant check my character sheet. This is charisma, so this is +2. We're doing we need 6, we need 7 or higher, essentially, for the rules. It's not a skill per se. So let's roll to see if we can lie. Let me write this down. Um, we lie, or I'm sorry. I essentially lie, partial lie, that the note is in the back, recovered from server when everyone left. Recovered from server, not mentioning Mets reading it. Okay. Let's roll 2d6 and see what happens. Plus the 2 charisma modifiers. 9, so 5 and 4, 9, plus the 2, so 10, 11, and that it justifies a full success. Not a critical success, just a general full success. We convinced the father, full success. We convinced the father, I convinced the father, convince the father of the story. So the father, how does he react? He believes this. What is his approach to this? We're going to say, perhaps the father is like, oh, that's fun. Let's roll for it. See what happens. Action. 44. Expectations. Good and important. So, all right. So he obviously he's mentioned this is very. First, he's appreciative of the story. He's appreciative that the note is still on site, and he's mentioning it's of most importance basically. So that gives us expectations. So rolling the actions table for expectations really is more for me. So father is pleased, mentioning the note is of utmost importance. So this family obviously is of royalty, and they are just in dire need of this note. It's their essentially their life goal right now, just to get that note back. So, do we need to roll anything? Okay, I'm gonna tell them that. Okay, let me go get the note. I believe I saw it in the back. So I turn around, and when I tell them I will get the note. We haven't really touched base on the bartender. I'm not too worried about the server right now, but the bartender, what he's been doing. Let's see what he's been doing. I'm just curious if he's still cleaning up, if anybody has come back in from the outside. What is the bartender doing right now? 72. Nature. Peaceful. So I'd say the bartender, he's calmed down a little bit. I'm a little more on the peaceful side of that role. I notice the bartender seems calmed down a bit. I'm going to ask him again because essentially I don't work here. I'm going to ask him again. I forgot something. Can I go to the back to get it? So, kind of alive, but not really. It was in our hands before, so I asked bartender if I can go into the back. I forgot something. How does he react to our question? Does he allow us? So 64. Information, natural. Information. Okay, information. That makes sense. He's asking us. So he's a little suspicious of why we're constantly going back in and out of the kitchen. Are we stealing stuff? I don't think it's 64 is information. The description was natural, so I think it's natural for him to ask why. So he asks us essentially why we keep going in and out of the kitchen. He is friendly, but he's just kind of getting a little suspicious now. Let's roll. Is he getting a little suspicious now? 50-50 or 50-50. We'll keep it at that. 87. He's not suspicious. I think he's just curious. Actually, he's more just he's curious. So he's curious. I think it's more just piquing his interest of why there's this traveler going in and out of the kitchen. He's pretty mellow at that point because if I were the owner of that tavern and I see this random stranger who I've become acquaintance at best, constantly go in and out of the kitchen because we say we know the cook. It is curious. So I tell him I have to word this safely though. Maybe he knows of the notes, or the notes completely it's oblivious to him. Maybe he doesn't exactly pay attention to the cook's actions every so a lot of the time because he's on the bar, cooks in the back, they do their job separately. The bar, I think the bartender owns the place. I don't recall if I don't really think that matters at this point, but I'm going to tell him that. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Oh, no, actually, I already said I forgot something. Oh yeah, then now he's inquiring about what we forgot. I'm going to say that because I forgot something. I'm going to tell him that this family left something in the back that's theirs, and I know where it is. I know where it is. Basically, like I saw it back there when I was back there. Um, I tell him the family left something here. I saw it in the kitchen. I'll say Met has been holding onto it for the family. So kind of again, we're kind of digging a multiple layered, multi-layered lie at this point. So we have to cross our fingers this doesn't explode in our faces. Um, does he believe us? This is a this is a 2-6 actually. This is D2-6 because charisma +2. All right, fingers crossed. 4-5 again. That's 11. He does believe us. I swear to God. 4-5 again. That's great. So +2. That's 11. So full success. Lie. Partial lie. He allows us. He believes us basically. He believes us. Okay, believes me. I should say. I'm getting better at that. I hope for you guys from your perspective. I hope I'm getting better at trying to refer to I first person for my character for Begler. Okay, so I'm going to walk into the kitchen, the right door. I enter kitchen. Um, darn, I've lost spelling errors. I enter the kitchen, and then there we go. Just a few corrections on my document. And is the well most I say nearly certain is Matt still reading the notes because he's a slow reader. He's not not a good reader. That's evident. Is he still reading the notes? 3. Oh yeah, that's a exceptional yes. He is still. Let's say he's like halfway through. So I see Met is reading the notes. Let's say that. Now here's the real conundrum. We have to convince him to let us because he didn't let us take the note last time. Let's see. I think Met tell him of my travels north. We part ways. Now we're back. So does he know that we're back? Because we kind of acted like we're hey no see you later, and then all of a sudden the family pops in. So this does kind of throw a wrench in our original plans. I'm gonna say that does he notice us this time? I'm gonna say a certainty he does because he's surprised to see us. I'm gonna assume 92. Hold it. Wow. He does not notice us. He is just completely invested in this note. That scares me because that might actually make it harder for us to get it from him. And because this doesn't necessarily have DCs for skill checks, it just has those three and a half methods of ranges. Could be either easy or difficult. So one second, I'm gonna go hydro break here. That's good stuff. Now, Met does not notice me. Okay, so I'm going to walk up to him and tap him on the shoulder. So I tap his shoulder. Does he notice us? Or how does he react to that? I'm really curious if we just do a roll for this. 98. Surprise. Okay, so I rolled surprise and valuable. So he's happy to see us, and but it's more of a surprise. Like, oh, he's like, I thought you guys, I thought you left, you guys, I thought you left. So, surprise. Looks up, looks at us, happy to see us again. And he jokingly says, with his flamboyant voice, he jokingly says, "That was, that was quick," basically. Um, here is the here's the play we have to do here. So we need to convince him to give us the notes, and he's halfway through reading it. Maybe we just read it to him. So I think like he doesn't want to necessarily keep the note forever and ever, but he just wants to finish reading it. Do we tell him about the family? Maybe we can try to convince him that just like this huge what's at stake here because of this note. But we can also play into his interest of reading the note and just say we'll quickly read the note for him in complete slowly read it for him in complete sentences. So I mentioned the family in the dining area looking for that note. Um, ask him if I can give it to them. Importance, blah 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 blah. So, uh, and however, I can read the rest to him. I can read the rest to him, basically. So, how does he react? We either roll the d6 for this, or we can roll against the table. Let's do the d6. This is our third time today. That's a lot. We did a lot of checks in the first 17 minutes of this video. That's a new record. Charisma +2. So let's go for it. 7 or more. 6. And that is a full success. A total of 2 or more, 12 or more, is a critical success. You do it perfectly with some extra benefit or advantage. So, wow, that's great. I think that's my first critical success. So ignoring the modifier on that, I'm curious, how does he react, which we have to play to our favorite. 67. He moves. Okay, official. I'm going to more go with the move. He stands up, tearing, like crying, or like tears. He's so emotionally invested into this note. He wants to meet the family. He's like, I will take this note personally myself. I will take this note personally myself. I have to meet them, basically like that. So he wants to meet the family and give them the note, which this does. So it is a critical success. The note gets delivered, but this does cause a problem for us inadvertently. Um, I rolled critical success. It benefits us. I think it will benefit us. I did have that white lie earlier, which was the notes in the back recover from not mentioning Met. I think I'm gonna just play dumb and say I noticed that this gentleman here was the cook was reading it. He just got. We'll see how it happens. I think this is more of an issue between. We kept that detail out, so this is gonna be more of an issue between Met and the family than us. We're gonna be spectator here. We'll see what happens. They might be, how dare you read our note, or he's just so emotionally invested. He's like a fanboy now. He's like he wants me to understand the story, the rest of it. So he's gonna probably talk to them for some time. Perhaps we'll see. So I agree to the idea. Okay, so Met just bolts to the door. Met, we leave the kitchen. Met notices the family's still there. We don't have to roll for that. They're waiting for us. Notices the family. He walks and then he meets them. So like right off the bat, does he give the note? Like I'm trying to picture how this exchange goes. Like they don't know who he is. He's like, who is this man? And he's holding the note to them. Maybe is a note. Did he seal the like? Did he reseal the note, or did he leave it? Oh, is he holding the envelope and the letter is like unfolded? And he's holding like this, with tears that are going down his eyes. So 50-50. We didn't exactly mention that. Is it still closed? Enclosed. 33. He did. So he didn't seal it, but he did close it. Um, he meets the family. He hands the note. I'm gonna say that the letter. I keep saying note. I'm sorry. The letter is sealed, or it's closed, not sealed. Um, does he hand the letter to the family first? Let's do 50-50 on this one. 61. He does not. He holds it up like this, and he is just looking at them. He does not at first hand hand the letter to them. He starts to talk to them, saying like, I've had the privilege of I've had the privilege of reading your notes, your family, your letters from from your grandfather. I am so amazed in how detailed the writing is. So I think he becomes like more invested in the writing and the nature of the letter than like just spoiling everything. Um, Not exactly the content, but more of like the fashion of writing, the style. I think it's more like let's roll for that. Is Met more emotionally like connected to the writing, like the wording, the vocabulary being used? 50-50 roll. 46. He is. He's more so. Met is um, explaining that he read part of the note, mentions he's not a good reader, learning. So he says this has been a challenge for him, but he is like invested into the vocabulary being used, uh, the writing style, the cursive, everything. It just the classic pen and paper, or feather and what do you call that? I mean, parchment. So blah blah blah, like that. How does I'm guessing he's talking to the father. How does the father react to this? We're kind of off to the side. Um, let's see how the father reacts. 16. Communicating. Now the tough one is description, damaged, but I think I'm more leaning on communicating. I believe I can re-roll for this, but he's talking with. They seem to be talking, but damaged is more of like I think he's distressed about it. He's damaged. Like I think it's reminding him of his grandfather, and he's just like the father's just trying to hold it in. He's internally damaged by the whole situation, so he's trying to hold it in while this random cook, is talking about his family letter. So he's trying to be respectful. I'm gonna re-roll for that, or an additional roll. 12. Changed, cold. So I think it changes his perspective. Like I think he the father realizes that despite the intrusion of Met like reading the note, he acknowledges that um, Met means well and is showing great respect for his grandfather. So I think like it's just kind of unintentionally um, warming up to the father character that we have not got a name for yet. So does Met eventually give the letter to? I'm going to say he does. I'm going to say like the Met. We didn't read the story off to him. Does Met ask the father to like explain like what the letter details, like in basically audibly? Um, Very I say likely. Does the father explain to Met what the letter is about? Likely. 64. They're in a rush, but I think likely. Barely a yes. Barely. He's hesitant. Like Met's like, please tell me, what is this letter? Like, what does it entail? He's so like, maybe the cook wants to be a writer sometime in the future. Maybe he wants to be a writer. He has really big dreams. He's stuck in the back as a cook, small town, but like he wants to take part in all of this. So, um, the father, Matt asks the father to entail what the letter is about, like completely, like fully. The father, we already rolled. The father, though hesitant, I'm going to say is hesitant of the request. He does ultimately tell tell Matt in detail. So we won't go through that. It's just that we already know that it's basically take this letter to my kin. So um, explains to Matt briefly because they have to go. They're in a rush. Briefly about the letter. And we're standing there. We're kind of. I'd say I'm kind of like I'm listening, and I'm kind of tearing up myself. Like I wipe away a tear like this, and just it's very sad what's been happening to their family. Um, and I think it's yeah, that works. I like that. So after they mention the letter, um, does Met? I think we got re-roll, or we got to figure out if Met gives a letter back after the father finished explaining the letter in detail. For certain, does he give the letter back? Like he just hands it to them. 58. He does. For certain is a huge window for yes. I'll be surprised if it was 99 or 100. That's a no. Or 91 or higher is a no. So Met gives the letter to the father. The family, the mother, I think it was a son or a daughter, the child. Um, they smile like they're very happy the letter is safe and sound. You know, it wasn't like it wasn't stolen or anything, which it kind of was, but rightfully so. We assisted in this manner. And the father, does he acknowledge us? Because we helped in all of this. The father, does he acknowledge us? Nearly certain. 36. The father does. The father looks to us and he smiles. He nods. He says, "Thank you. Thank you." I'm gonna walk. I keep saying us. I'm sorry. I walk up to him. Shake. I shake. I reach out to shake his hand. But this, so a royal family. They don't like to get their hands dirty. I'm kind of curious. Does he shake her hand? I'm gonna say very likely. Fist bump or something. Very likely. 71. Very likely. 71. It is a yeah. He's like, it's not usual for him to do this. Like we kind of do this, and he's like, he shakes her hand slowly. Like he doesn't typically do that. So slowly, he shakes our hand, and I ask him. I keep saying that we. Again, I apologize. It's going to happen a lot. I ask him, what can we? So I think right now he's open to questions. Probably one or two questions. Does he have help? We have to ask this oracle this question. We have to figure out how to ask. Like what should we ask? Nothing too specific, but nothing too vague. Is he willing to speak to us? Likely. Well, we helped him, so very likely. Is he willing to speak to us? 78. Oh shoot. That's barely a no. He's not. Damn it. Okay. So we weren't really attempting to force him to speak to us. I asked him if he can provide us with some like tips on traveling north. Okay, how does he respond to this? He won't answer. He won't provide. So I'm like, how does he respond emotionally? 37. Emotions. Of course. He like thinking of his past and thinking of up there. He says, "Don't go." He shakes his head. He's like, I can't think of that right now. My mind is not in that. I want to just focus on going home, like traveling far south as possible. So, uh, he becomes he's a very emotional person. It's evident. He becomes emotional. Doesn't want to remember about his home, etc. However, the wife might possibly be open to questions. So he's a dead end. What about the wife? What is she currently doing? Like what is her current emotions? 19. Conclude. Damn it. She's done. She's about to turn around and walk out. She says she does say thank you to us, but I think she just kind of turns around and nods. The kid probably too. Kid's probably not going to be of help. So I'd say the mother and kid, because I totally forgot what gender the kid was, um, turn around to leave. But I'm going to try one more time to just kind of play a little desperate act, like acting, attempt here with the charisma +2. I'm going to just kind of speak up and say, please, sir, it's of utmost importance, matter of life and death, like to the father as he turns around. So father turns around too. Father turns around, but we plead. I plead to him. So I plead to him. Okay, his charisma roll. This has to work. 9 +2, 11 again. So full success. He stops. Okay, so full success. He stops, like he basically stops. Think like this. One thing I want to try to do more in the show is reference other material like movies or shows, just from my own knowledge base. Though it's not that as like, well, okay, I'll let you guys decide. Dragon Ball Z. I'm a huge fan. Take a lot of things from the show as far as ideas go. So uh, in the Frieza saga, when Frieza's cut in, if you're not a Dragon Ball Z fan, feel free to ignore this part. But when Frieza gets cut in half by his own blade, Destructo discs like Krillin's Destructo disc, he's begging he's begging Goku to spare him to help him, and Goku, he keeps begging, and then there's that keyword that Goku stops and freezes. I'm thinking that's how the father is right now. Like his shoulders kind of bump up, and he's like, maybe we say something that triggers this. So it's a matter of life and death. Maybe death is the key. Is death the key word here? I'm really thinking it's a matter. So we plead to him. He stops after we say matter of life and death. Is death the key word? Like, is that what triggers him? Let's say nearly certain it is. I'm asking the Oracle here. 59. It is. So death is the word that stops him in his tracks. How does he respond to this? We got his attention by the roll. How does he respond to the word death? Conflict. 22. 22. Conflict. That's perfect. He's conflicted. This is conflict for him. He turns around, and we can see in his eyes that he's seen a lot. Even though he's a noble or like his royal family, perhaps he's seen a lot of death around his town or village, wherever he's from. Um, I can see his see in his eyes torment or like anguish, stuff like that. So we are we're also conflicted, uh, like experience of death, etc., like that. That's what we see in his eyes, and that stops me. And does he respond to us like audibly? Does he say anything? 50-50, because this is a pretty grippy moment here. 37, he does. How does he respond to us? He responds. The cook's just standing there too. I don't know what the cook's doing. We'll get to that in a second. And the bartender. What is he going? How does he respond to us? 81. Rotten. Well, for action, it's official, though it is rotten. So he gives us information on how the best way to travel up north, but just how much death and destruction is up there. Like bodies, corpses stacked. Something happened up there, and now that's just playing on my expectations. Like something terrible happened up there. I don't. So he mentions death, like piles of bodies. Um, Maybe watch out for piles of bodies, destruction. Yeah, it's like I'm thinking now that does he tell us what happened? I'm basically I'm gonna ask him. I ask him what happened exactly up there. What happened? What happened up there? Does he does he answer us? 50-50. Might be just leave for suspense. He does. Six. That's a very exceptional yes. Exceptional yes, by the way, is more and goes beyond our expectations. What does he tell us? Or at the roll at the mention, he tells us the following, and he tells us. Let's see, action 31, decrease. Okay, and then description of what this decrease is 61. Mysterious, decrease and mysterious. I got it. Okay, so decrease and mysterious. I'm sorry, decrease and mysterious. I'm gonna put this in my notes here. Decrease and mysterious. That he believes. He says he tells us this that the moment the volcano started to erupt, there was the cloud of um, the clouds from the lava from the volcano, the smoke was dropping ash, and when it was touching the ground of the area underneath the cloud, the smoke, it was killing everything, plants, and even the people. So he tells us that the smoke from the volcano dropped ash, killing plants, the grass, everything, and even people that touched the ash. So there was something really mysterious about this ash that just would cause this very simple, slow destruction that perhaps the people did not expect to happen to themselves. Though the scariest at first, the plants. That's huge. And I think that really is another side effect from this volcano. Not just the earthquakes, the tremors, but the actual smoke now. So that smoke is a concern for us. It's a huge obstacle. So I'm going to put this one in bold because that's a huge detail. So he tells us decrease mysterious. The the smoke from the volcano dropping ash, killing plants, grass, and even people that touch the ash. I'm blown away by this. So I am astonished by this, and I tell him, "So sorry to hear about your grandfather and friends and family, friends, family." I mentioned family, and how I'm thinking that the family is a trigger word for him. How does he respond when I say family? It's like he has these trigger words. 32. Oh, I rolled 32 already. I'm gonna roll again. 11. Cold, cold. I like that. Cold. The mention, man, he really wants to get the hell out of here because I'm just basically making him relive all these past horrific moments of his life, the past probably day or two of his travels. The mention of family triggers him to remember his. Did he lose a family member from this death? Not just the grandfather, but did he lose someone else? I'm gonna say very likely. 71. He did. He lost someone, though it is a weak yes. I'm gonna say it's a friend. He lost a friend. Do you remember that he lost a friend too? So he lost a friend. He just maybe it was a close friend, like best bud. Um, so I just stand there silent. I stand there silent. What else can I do? Um, though I thank him for the information, and wish him safe travels. Him and his family safe travels. There we go. Okay. Does he? When we thank him, what is it? What is it? How does he react? 45. Incomplete. It's not. I rolled a failure. I don't think it was. I don't think thanking him. It's incomplete. Like he feels like he mentions it's not over yet. Like he looks to us and says it's not over yet. So then he turns around and leaves. So he says it's not over for us yet. So perhaps it's he's not given up yet. So they leave the tavern. The cook. What has the cook been doing this entire time? I'm sure he's been mostly invested to this whole situation too. Character colorful. He's yeah, he has a very colorful character. That's evident. But I think he's very like into it. He's just like he's like this. He's tearing up and he's listening in like from the side. So Met is emotionally invested into the whole into the situation. That's it. Um, Maybe tearing up more. Keeps crying. A lot of crying today. Um, what's the bartender doing? 26. Creating. Empty. So I create and empty. I think he's making something. Did anybody else come back inside the tavern? 50-50. Oh, that's interesting. 36. Yeah, a few patrons came back in, and he's making a drink basically. So a few patrons came back. Bartender. Oh yeah, that's right. Zenith is creating basically them drinks. So things are kind of back to normal. I think the family has a note and they're off. We have some context now about what's happening up north. More information, essentially, though kind of vague. Not like too like ash kills people when you touch it. We have that information. I'm gonna add that to my quest notes. Let's go back to our screen. So, let's see here. Quest. Okay, so this is the volcano, the quake, which I'm thinking the quake and the main quest might combine. I mentioned that, I believe, in the last video. Main quest might combine in the next couple episodes, and the quake. Um, Family has note. Mentions. This is bold. Volcano smoke, ash, kills living things. People too. That's huge. So, oh yeah, that's right. And destruction, like death, seen up north. Okay, I think that's good for now. So back to our story. Back to my notes. Okay, so now that the family's gone, and I'm gonna look to and I'm gonna tell him that was huge. I'm off. So I'm gonna basically just wish him be well again, like kind of jokingly say, this time I'm going. So I say bye to Met, Zenith. I wave to him. I'm sure he looks up and nods and waves bye. Met walks back into the kitchen. He waves, and then so I leave the tavern. Now that I left the tavern, I think we rolled already knowing that the line of villagers, the caravan, which it's not, that's just my nickname for that group of people, are gone. They're already out of town for now. Some probably lingered because of the quake. Now, when I leave, what happens? We want to go back to the inn to check on Sparky. What happens when I leave? 3. Benefits. Beautiful. Okay, so I felt that this was a huge benefit for me. The story information. I get like I also roll beautiful. What do I see that's beautiful? Maybe the sun setting. So I see the sun setting over the volcano. So it's like it's a mixed bag. It's beautiful, like it's beautiful to look at, but it's also death. So you see this large volcano of smoke, and the sun's kind of cracking through, just setting over the volcano. So it's insanely metaphorical or symbolic, I should say. Casting long shadows on the town of Bellhop. So the benefit is that I have vital information of the ash, the killer ash, basically. So now, okay, Is the town busy? Let's roll 50-50. Well, sunset, maybe not. Very unlikely, and because of the quake too. I think everyone dispersed. 39. Very unlikely. It is, yeah, it is not. Oh wait, yeah, it's not busy. Okay, the town is relatively quiet, surprisingly, after being almost partially destroyed. Uh, we still see the the ruins of the inn. So we walk back. I walk back. I go back to the inn. Go back to the inn. And now when I'm walking up to the inn, does anything happen? 50-50. Does anything happen? 25. Something does happen. Okay, so I go back to the inn, and what happens exactly? Something happens. Okay, well, so what happens? 91. I'm sorry. Yeah, 91. Start. Oh, start. Start small. Something small. Start. Something gets started. I gotta figure out what though. That's interesting. That's a difficult one. 'Cause I'm not using tables for this adventure. I'm thinking of everything on the spot. Let me roll one more time. Something starts 74. Something negative. Something negative happens. Starts. That starts. Not the quake. The quake's already happened. Hmm. Is it a person? Something, let's see, negative. Negative start. I'm writing down I'm typing in what I'm rolling. Is it a person? 50-50. 84. It is not a person. It's an event. It's a thing. Is it an object, perhaps? It is an object. Okay, so it's small. It's a small object. Oh, is it in my inventory? Does something happen to my inventory? Oh, the box. Wait, the box. It's small. It starts to do something, and it's a negative effect on us. Perfect. I love it. The box. Remember, we kind of retconned it, I think. But anyways, it's just a box to us. I don't think we. Hold on a second. Did I change that story? Let me check our. Let's check our notes. Let's go to the quest. Dervish helped us free. Deliver a strange box up north. Okay, so to us, it's just a box. Okay, good. The box that we have in our bag, what does it do? Interesting. Okay, so something happens to the box. Actually, in my inventory. In my inventory, starts to, let's see, 35. Distant. Distance. Full. One more roll. I have an idea for this. 73. We are rolled negative. I don't want to roll too much. That's the problem with this. 26. Creates. We rolled that to also. No, we don't. Actually, no, we didn't. It's creating something. A flow. So the box is starting to float out of our bag. We catch it. So it just kind of happens. We're outside the tavern. We're looking in, and we notice from our side the box is starting to float out of our we just had this backpack or some kind of sling or something like that. It floats out of our bag, glowing. What color is it? If it's okay, I'm gonna roll 0 through 100. The higher the brighter. 30. It's a dark color. It's a dark red. Yeah, it's a dark red. Floating, dark, glowing, dark red. I grab the box. It literally was just start to float away. I grab the box. Now, what happens when I grab the box? Whoops. I'll count that. 95. Strange. We feel strange. We feel like a really strange. It's a strange feeling. Like like that. It's just a really like something like someone's watching us, like something's watching us. Something is watching us. Uh, I have a strange feeling from the box, like my hands start to become numb. That's right. That's good. From the box, my hands feel numb. They start to like tingle, like you know when you fall asleep on your hands, and then when you wake, they get their nerves back, the blood gets back pumping into your, the blood gets back, to blood flow gets back to normal. You had that little ant feeling. That's what happens when it becomes that when I grab the box. So, and it's a negative effect. Can I hold on to the box? Like, does this stop me from holding it? This might be bad. I feel like the distant roll. Let's try to hold on to the box. This will be an action. So let's see, what is related to this? Strength I have 0. Um, a skill, stealth, survival. I think survival. So 6 or less, it's a partial success. Let's roll. 10. A lot of tens today. Yeah, it's a 10. Which is a full success. 10 or more is a full success. Okay, even with the modifications, the skill traits, the skill roll. So, full success. I do my best to hold the box from floating away. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's trying to force itself. It's just kind of floating casually. Like it doesn't take as much effort to grab it. Despite the glow and the weird numbness in our hands, I'm going to look at the box. I'm going to examine it. See, what do I see anything unusual about the box? Let's see. Besides the glow. 3. Beautiful. There's a strange, like, when I look at the box, the glow, I can see something. So I become mesmerized. I look at the box, and it's starting to manipulate me. Now, what's it causing me to do? 38. Emotions. Like now, my emotions are starting to get triggered, and I'm basically going through a bunch of emotions. Like I start to like I'm sad, angry, frustrated, depressed. Like while I look at the box, I become emotional, just random emotions, and for some reason the box is having like I can feel the box's emotions. Like there's something in the box that like let's do that. Like I can feel empathy from the box for some reason. Whatever's in the box is clearly giving out this strange aura. Um, yeah, I can feel the emotion. Sorry, I'm gonna put the box into the bag and tighten the bag up. So I stuffed the box. Maybe my bag got a little loose and the box floated away. I stuffed the box back in my bag and tightened the bag more. I tightened the bag. Team tighten it. Okay. All right. So that passed. Though it wasn't too negative as much as we rolled for. So, okay, had to get some water. Um, all right, so now we're gonna look inside. We're gonna find Sparky. We got to close this episode off with a good note, with a high note. Um, oh, is there anybody like guarding? We never really, because this is a disaster site essentially. The inn is destroyed. I'm guessing, is there anybody guarding or outside the inn while we were there with our floating box? Let's say 50-50. 56. There's not. Nope. There's no one. Okay. There is no one outside the inn entrance. I look through and I see Sparky. 50-50. 9. Solid 9. I do. I see Sparky. Okay. What's Sparky doing exactly? Sorry, I had a phone call. Just had to finish that up. Okay, so we are rolling to see what Sparky was doing. Let's roll. 45. Sparky is... Oh, failure. Again. Incomplete. Oh, incomplete. Ignore failure. Incomplete. I think this is two possibilities here. So I rolled incomplete. Sparky feels. I think Sparky feels lost because Rita's dead. Well, is Sparky like laying down? Let's see what Sparky's doing. All right, we rolled how Sparky feels. Bleak, betrayed. Oh gosh. Okay. Sparky is Sparky laying down? Let's see. 50-50. 63. No, Sparky's not laying down. Okay, so Sparky is so Sparky's walking around sniffing. Just kind of no, actually, would it make more sense? Sparky's probably eating something. Is Sparky eating? 88. Not. Huh. Oh wait. Incomplete. Sparky is still Sparky. Sparky's still laying next to Greta this whole time? Let's see likely. 3. Just a 3. Indeed, Sparky is still laying next to Greta. That dog. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it Greta? Dang it. Which are my characters? NPC list. Rita. Sorry. I'll put deceased, unfortunately. Deceased. Rita. So we take a deep breath. Yeah, that's dark. Rita, Sparky's still just sitting there. Now, we want to help Sparky. Yeah, we're gonna like just try to like whistle or like try to get Sparky's attention. Like we're looking through. We're not in the tavern or in the inn. I whistle to Sparky, call out her name. Does she respond? I'm gonna say she does. She's lonely. Rita took care of her for a day, and like she's upset. She knows that Rita just isn't doing it. Like isn't dead. So smart dog. So, but does Rita straight up zombie at that point? Does Sparky respond to us? I would say very likely. 28. Okay, Sparky does. Sparky looks up. And does Sparky. What does Sparky do? 58. Oh, interesting. Harm. Oh, is Sparky hurt? Harm. I think Sparky got hurt somehow. We see. Okay, I see. Sparky looks up to us. Looks up to me. But doesn't move. Sparky is hurt somehow. So maybe Sparky's leg got hurt. Like maybe earlier, even though Sparky evaded damage from the falling roof, maybe she got hit by something else, and just kind of the injury kind of took time. I don't know. It's hard to like. Maybe the pain just finally got the best of her. Let's just say. Sparky's like leg is bleeding. So I'm gonna walk through. I walk through the door. Oh, is there anybody inside? I think we really rolled for that. Well, we rolled that nobody was outside. Yeah. Is there anybody inside besides Sparky? I'm gonna say very unlikely. 71. Very unlikely. Is there anybody inside? Yeah, no, there's no one else inside. Okay, so it's just us and Sparky. I walk through the lobby up to Sparky. How does Sparky respond to us walking, just kind of walking up to her and kneeling? Like we kneel down. I kneel down. Maybe I'm going to give a potion to Sparky if that works. Let's see. How does Sparky react? 7. Right. Sparky's happy to see us. Sparky's happy that we're close up. Sparky is happy. Barks maybe like that, just a happy bark. I'm gonna give Sparky a. So Sparky's injured right now. We're not really tracking health for the dog, but I'm gonna give a potion to heal Sparky. That does use it up, so that's my only potion. But it's our doggo, so we have to take care of it. I'm gonna take that out of my inventory, and I heal Sparky with our potion. Now we don't have one, but our health is currently at maximum. Maximum. We have 15 gold and we have 11 hit points. So we're good. And it's sunset, so it's almost nighttime. Almost night. I heal Sparky the potion. Sparky heals completely. Very likely. 16. Yep. Oh, yeah, that's a borderline exception. Yeah, Sparky's fully healed. Let's say Sparky is healed. So Sparky, does Sparky stand up? What does Sparky do? Does Sparky come back to our, like, as a companion? 43. Expectations. So Sparky's back to, I think, as our companion, as our pet. So Sparky stands up. And just kind of walks around the lobby, exploring. So back to kind of like just being a companion. So we have Sparky back. So this whole time Sparky was hurt, but she didn't want to come with us because she wanted to sit next to Rita. So we got Sparky back. Okay, so at this point, I turn around facing the door. We're gonna leave at this point. I mean, does something happen? 30. Something does happen. Something that's noticeable. Okay, something happens. And I have an idea. I'm gonna check what 30 is on the chart here. Deceit. Ooh. Deceit. I like that. So let me see here. Deceit. Deceitful. Interesting. Deceit. Okay. Concealing the truth. What do we see? What do we see? What is deceitful? 68. A move. Something moves in. So something walks in and it looks very deceitful apparently. So something, let's say something enters the inn, like kind of steps through. Is it a person? I'm gonna say, very likely it's a person. 27. Yep, it's a person. Okay, we're building a new character here. It's a person. What does this person do? 53. Loud. Oh, I know who it is. Okay, this is a couple possibilities here. Loud. Loud. Okay, I rolled loud. It's a person. Now, do we know this person? I'm going to say very likely we do. 63. Very likely. Yep, we do indeed know this person. Though we know of them briefly. And this links up to one person I have a feeling, I believe it is the Traveler. So the Traveler, which you're asking, wait, why is the Traveler back? The Traveler is screams seeing Rita dead behind us, and we're standing there next to the dead body. Well, I don't think Traveler's gonna think about we did it because the whole entire building is collapsed. Seeing Rita dead, inn destroyed, and I say, I'm surprised to see the Traveler. Does the Traveler ask what happens? 50-50. What happened? 18. Like, I left for one day. 18. Now, yep, Traveler does ask what happened. The Traveler asked us what happened. Okay, this is big. We say, I tell him there. I first tell him, sorry for your loss, sorry for Rita. The Basically summarizing it, when I say ceiling collapsed, earthquake, again, I couldn't save her. So how does he respond to that? 14. Character. Okay, he's in character. So he wasn't deceitful. Does he remain deceitful? The deceitful part is what confuses me. Like, are we deceitful to him? Do we appear deceitful for him? Or is he deceitful to us? I think because he's back so soon, it's surprising us. So we see him being deceitful. Like, why is he back? We thought he was traveling up north. So I tell him. Sorry, I keep saying we. I tell him everything that what I just said. Ceiling collapses, earthquake again. Um, does he show? We rolled. He shows character, so I think I'm gonna roll again. That one I need a little more context there. 19. Dark. He looks he looks completely lost. He remains silent. Doesn't answer us. What is his action right now? Or his action 25. Empty. He's empty. Like he he falls on his knees, like he's in disbelief. Everything is just gone. Like his home is uh his home is I'm not crying. His home is gone. His wife is dead. Uh, this is out of character for him. He was usually the mysterious person, calm and collected, a sage, essentially. If I'm using that term right. Falls on his knees. Uh, I walk up to him and hmm, I kneel down. Like I kneel down with him. I put my hand on his shoulder. Put put my hand on his shoulder. I I'm trying to basically just kind of help him out here because basically I'm gonna tell him that. What should I tell him? I tell him again. I am so sorry for Rita. Again, the quake. It was all too fat. Like it was all too quick. It was all too quick. But I will tell him about what we learned from maybe to give him some closure um, about what we discovered regarding the volcano. So I tell him about the volcano and how I believe my theory that these quakes are not are not at random. They are being uh, created. Like I'm basically trying to tell them that these are not normal. These aren't natural instances because of a volcano. Something is causing this to happen. So how does he react to that? I'm basically just trying to give him some hope. How does he react to that? 8. A break. So right. So he thinks for a moment. He looks up. So he looks up at me. Does he stand up? Likely. 36. He does stand up. We both stand up. And perhaps he's what does he do? Let's see. 55. Good. Okay, so that's quick. He feels like this is good information for him. So he stands up. Though it is kind of mysterious. Now I'm thinking about it. He seems collected. Like I rolled good. Uh, he says the information. Does he know about does he know about this information? I have a feeling there's something behind it, like behind him that he's hiding. What is he? How does he react to that? Like I don't know. I'm gonna roll randomly to see here. 44 expectations. Hmm. This is getting really intriguing here. So I almost forgot about something. The key, and I think we never actually closed on that. Let's go back to our list here, quest list. The key. Let's see. The bad luck merchants. The traveler has the key. Out of town, and he's back. I completely forgot about this. So I might have to retcon a few things. So basically, retracing our steps, the key. The last highlighted mention of a key. Rita smiled but confused. She thought the key belonged to the merchant. The traveler has the key. Okay, so basically, what's really confusing to us, what I'm going to do is step back on a few things because I noticed, because I forgot about the key essentially. So the traveler appears. All the stuff about him responding, like naturally responding to seeing his dead wife, his dead home, is accurate. That is very possible and logical. I'm so sorry for that. It was too quick. I tell him about the volcano. Now, here's what I'm going to change. Some of you might not like this, but I think this makes more sense to me. Um, I'm going to take out this part here. I shouldn't do this. I'm not trying to do this too often, but um, I'm going to take out this part because I can savor. He remains silent. He falls on his knees. I walk up to him. I kneel down to him, put my hand on his shoulder. I'm so sorry for again, like I'm gonna say the quake. I guess this stuff does make sense. I tell him about the volcano, how I believe my theory. I'm going to remember. I remember the key situation, the missing key. Now, do we know that the key is missing, or like that he has the key? I don't think we do. Oops, it's actually on this page right here. So from episode 14, that's right. We were suspicious of Rita, but she didn't. She thought the key belonged to the merchant. So we don't know essentially that uh, that the traveler has the key. We can assume he does, but we don't really know for sure. I think of the traveler having possibly having the key because him and Rita, husband wife, the key thing. Maybe he's the one who has it. So why is he back? That's the question. That's what's really confusing me in this whole part here. I'm trying to write this. I'm trying to make sure this makes sense. And I'm also thinking of the Kingsman 3, the three Kingsmen from earlier, because he left. That's the part that confused me, is that he's back, and I allowed him to be back. I'm gonna assume this happens from time to time in my stories here. I'm gonna take out this part right here, and we both stand up. I ask him, I thought you were going up north. So that's that. Okay, this is probably a good approach. How does he respond to that? So I asked him, I thought you were going up north. 32. Fragrant. Decrease. Okay, what is it decrease? 81, 89. Setback. I rolled a setback. Something caused him a set. There was this. He had a setback with his travels to camp, and he came back for something. So he says he had a setback, had to return. Was he returning? What was he returning for? What was he returning for? 55 again. Mechanical? Hmm. It also says good, but I'm gonna re-roll for that. 92. Small. The key? Did he forget the key completely? No, he didn't just forget the key. I have to trust the Oracle on this one. He forgot something small. Is it the key? He had to return. He forgot something. He says he forgot something. Is it the key? Let's do a story. I'm still on my sheet here. I apologize about that. Usually I'm telling the story, I like to do on this page. Story. Did he come back for the key? This is 50-50. Hopefully he does. 37. Yep, he forgot the key. I don't know how, because we thought he had it, which contradicts myself. Let's go back to my sheet. I do apologize. I'm tripping over some of my story here, all these threads. But he has the key, so that doesn't make sense. He forgot it. So it's not the key. He forgot the following. 9. A burden. I don't think the setback was that he forgot something. He had to return. Maybe he did forget something small, but it was not the key. He has the key on him. I think it's something else. What would a sage forget back at home? So I was doing some thinking, and I believe he just says he forgot something. He's playing it. He's being a little vague to us. Um, Now we'll jokingly say, was it a key? So I I tell him, I ask him, was it a key? And that might trigger something. How does he respond to that? That this might be a better way to play it. How does he respond to that? 96. Strange. He thinks it's strange that we know about the key. So here's what I think. This makes more sense now. So he thinks it's strange. Oh, here, he just says this. He says, he replies, strange, like strange. How do you know about the key? So how do you know about the key? The key. So how do you know about the key? I tell him that the merchant told me that the merchant we helped essentially. We, like me and the traveler, etc. We helped talked about the purpose, about what the key unlocks. And now going back to my notes here, the key, let's see, is to a cell the mysterious creature. Unlocks a cell, or the key. Well, what the key talked about, the key being related to a mysterious creature. So how does he respond to that, knowing what we know? The merchant we helped talk about the key related to the mysterious creature. 76. Powerful. This is huge to him. This is so he's blown away by this. Like, now is he pretending to be, or is he truly blown away? Like, is he really like, this is news to him? Based, let's just say, based on his facial expression, this is news to him. What I'm going to try to do, I have my suspicions though. I'm going to try to roll to see if I can. I think this would be a charisma related. Uh, yeah, I think it would be. Or wisdom. No, wisdom or intelligence ish. Yeah, I'm gonna do it's 0, so I'm gonna do a basic roll to see if he's lying. Like he says that's all news to him. I'm gonna do a roll. So 6, 7 or more basically. 5, 6, 7. I just rolled a perfect 7, which is a partial success. So a partial success, you do it, but there's some cost, compromise, retribution. So um, we can tell. I can tell he is holding some information back, holding some details back. He knows of this creature, possibly. I'll leave it at that. I can tell he's holding information back. So what does he do? 98. Oh, that's a high number. Valuable. The key is valuable to him. Also a surprise. It's a surprise to us. I'm going to say, here's what happens. He takes the key out. Just straight up takes the key out because it's a surprise. He shows it to us. And he's studying we recognize the key. It's evident. So I recognize the key. And he sees that. He notices that we recognize it. So let's see what happens. 55. Mechanical. Does he know more about the key? I'm going to say 50-50. 35. He does know more about the key than we do. That's evident. He explains that the key, he explains that he knows quite a bit more about this key than we do. And we believe him. I believe him. I believe him. I ask him, I know he's a sage and he has a lot of knowledge. He's done a lot of reading. Perhaps he's gotten mixed up in a bunch of things. I ask him how does he know about or actually I just ask him about the supposed creature, about this creature and the guardians. So going back to my quest list, the bad luck merchants, the guardians of, and we never mentioned the creature and the merchant mentioning the guardians of what? Of what exactly? Because the merchant passed out before he completed his sentence, and he didn't tell us anymore, I don't think. So does the merchant tell us? Can we convince him to tell us more? I think he's holding back, but now he's willing to help for some reason. So that might be what does he do? Let's see. We're definitely using the chart today. 63. Information. I rolled information. He gives us the information. I think what he wants to do is he wants us to help him on his quest. So he came back. Did I ever see when he came back? Let's see. Walked up the key, mysterious creature. He forgot something else. Was it a key? He replies, strange, how do you know about the key? Okay, so when I told him about the key, it sidetracked him. But he did forget something, and we need to know what it is. So let's not forget that. I'm going to do, he forgot something. Big, bold letters. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm just reminding myself. I don't want that to be a plot hole, because he's just back. Mentions the guardian of what? So does he tell us about the guardians? Let's say 50-50. 96. Oh, yep, 96. He does not. That's a definite no. His eyes widen. His eyes widen and says, "We should not know about them. I cannot." He says, "I cannot say anymore." So they mention the guardians, and the creature, which are our two possibly end game results for this whole quest, for this whole story, whole channel. I'm sorry, series. It stops him from speaking anymore. He says, I've said too much. So he says, I've said too much. Then I must continue. I must continue on. So he steps around us. He basically he walks away to Rita and kneels down to basically just kind of mourn her death. So he mourns her death, but he still has the key. So perhaps we messed up there as far as trying to persuade him to talk about the creature and the guardians. But now he's busy mourning his death. So in that respect, we did kind of fail that. But let's see if anything happens at this moment. Because the merchant bags, that's big. 71. Nature. So it starts to rain. Nature just made about raining. So it starts to rain. There's rain coming down from the open ceiling. It starts to rain. Rain coming through the open ceiling. Sparky's with us. That's evident. So Sparky runs underneath some shade. So we're kind of standing there incomplete ourselves, and we're speculating what to do now. Because the traveler was a big source, a resource of information, but I mentioned something that probably shouldn't have, and it triggered him. He had some kind of connection to these merchants and these guardians of whatever they do, and because of that, also with the impact of his wife being dead, that probably kind of he was approachable recently at some time, but now he's back to he's mourning it naturally. He's mourning his wife's death, but he was like for a moment there he was um, willing to give us information, but again I think we kind of failed at that part. To we said the wrong thing, and it led to him abandoning us, and now he's back to mourning his death. So um, just heard this fly. Uh, so okay, while he's mourning his wife's death, um, I'm thinking we can't really talk to him at this point. We, Let me try. I'm going to try to talk to him because I want to ask about the if he did see. Does he know about the? Hmm, let's do a story roll. Does he know about the three Kingsmen? I believe that's what they're called. It's been a while since we mentioned them. The Kingsman 3, that was their name. Does he know about the Kingsman 3? 50-50 chance. 43, he does. So, uh, the Traveler knows about the Kingsman 3. Okay, I'll make the bold. We're going to try to speak to him just one more time. So, I walk up to him slowly while it's raining, and I ask him, If you are willing, do you know do you know of the Kingsman 3? This might be a plot hole for me because I don't remember if the traveler knows about the Kingsman 3, so I do apologize about that if we're kind of retconning things unintentionally. But again, first time soloing a long campaign like this, and it's kind of a lot to track. Do you know the Kingsman 3? Does he answer us? Let's roll to see how he answers us. 76. NPC. He's just, I don't know, 53. Goals. He's NPC wise in goals. I think, let's see, how would that translate? NPC goals. Well, he's an NPC. That's evident. But his goals right now is to mourn his wife's death and to find whatever he's looking for. So, does he answer us at all? I'm going to say 50-50 on this one. 75. He doesn't. He's just, he closes her eyes if there weren't already closed, and he's just praying. So, he's praying, doesn't answer us. So I think this is a dead end. So perhaps it might be a dead end for the whole key thing, but again, if we somehow cross paths with him again in the future, it might become awkward. So I leave, I turn around, whistle to Sparky. Sparky follows, and I leave. I leave the tavern, the inn, and it's raining out. It's dark. There's probably some torches around, but is there moonlight? Like, do we have? Is it cloudy, or it's like a part of the cloudy rain? Is it cloudy? 75. It is. So the higher the answer. So it's mostly cloudy. You can the moon is kind of crackling through. It's mostly cloudy with the rain. Yeah, with the rain, raining. Not too hard. I think. How is the rain? Let's see. How is the rain altogether? 74. Let me roll again. That's a little too close to the last one. 73. Okay, the oracle's telling me that the rain is pretty harsh. Let's say heavy rain, and we're kind of underneath like a little some cover of the front entrance that didn't collapse apparently. So Sparky's next to us, standing in front of the inn. Sparky is next to us. Does anything happen? Let's see. 50-50. 74. Wow, a lot of 74s today. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to try again. 20. Something does happen. And what is 20 on the list? Conclusion. Dark. I think we concluded a quest at this point, though a failure. So conclude. Something happens. Conclude. Well, no, maybe it's not us that concludes it. Let me check my quest list really quick. The Bad Luck Merchants. I think that quest is still ongoing. The Family of Calic is still. The Quake. That's still been going, and the Debt to Pay, which might combine with the Quake. So, based on the quests, I believe that something happens and concludes. What is it that happens? Let's see. 49. Oh, it's a fight. A fight just concluded outside. Interesting. Okay. I see a fight at night just concluded, apparently. Who's fighting? Let's see. What's the fight about? 96 again. Stylish. Strange. Stylish, strange. Interesting. It's a strange fight. Stylish. Maybe one of the travelers from the north is fighting with a villager. Okay, so let's say that one of the very last remaining travelers from the north, a northerner, is was fighting with a villager or a townsman, townsfolk. What were they fighting about? We're kind of observing right now. Let's see. 59. Help. They're fighting over help. They're trying to help something. Maybe the fight wasn't as bad as we think. How serious was the fight? Let's see. 35. It was more of an argument. I also wrote mundane and help. So help, mundane. Oh, maybe the townsman, the town I think it's called townsman. Let's see, townsman. I know that's a game on Androids. I think that's a game. Um, yeah, it's a male resident of a particular town. Townsman. Just make sure I was using that right. The townsman was trying. Okay, here we go. Was trying to help up a northerner, an older. Well, maybe not older. Help up a northerner that dropped like their bag of belongings after that quake. And there's a lot of stuff fell over, and they were picking up everything slowly. Maybe it was an older person per se, like 50, 60 plus, that dropped their bag of belongings. And uh, the northerner, old, older gentleman, maybe, yeah, older gentleman, got a little aggravated, perhaps. Let's roll to see why he reacted the way he did. 42. The environment. Oh, maybe he just doesn't like these people in general. Um, he's big. Maybe he's just a little racist. Maybe he just doesn't like these people. He just despises people from the south, from up north. So um, the townsman was trying to help him. Yeah, was generally trying to help the northerner that dropped their bag of belongings, but the despise for some reason despises these people. So you can go into that however you imagine it, but that's I'm gonna keep it as vague as possible. Maybe he's just generally racist to these people, whoever they are. Again, I won't touch on that subject. Despises these people for some reason, and he pushed. Maybe he swatted, or the old man just pushed the townsman away. And the townsman bumped at the wall and got all frustrated and started yelling. Um, the northerner, let's see, I'm gonna try the northern, or I'm gonna try to copy that word because I'm using it quite a lot. Yelled at the townsman, told him to let go of his stuff, pushed him against the wall. So 35, the roll from like how severe it was, wasn't too severe. It was just kind of noticeable against the wall. So um, to let go of his stuff, yeah, of his stuff, push him against the wall. And now I'm trying to figure if I'm going to react to this, if I'm going to walk over, because we're really pushing this episode, so I need to conclude it because I have to go. But I'm going to walk over. It's raining. Remember, it's raining out, so I walk over to them and inquire what's going on. The How does the townsman react to me? One, attain. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so the sorry, I know some music stopped too, but I don't know how long it's been off actually, but it doesn't really matter. The villager attains. He's asking us for like, you want to jump in here? This like the villager, the townsman tells me he was just trying to help, but this man freaked out. And I'd say the old man is like really to himself. He's like looking down, keeping his eyes off of us, and picking up all this stuff one by one, like cans of food. Maybe he has like a big wagon. Let's just say when the wagon toppled over, old man is all of his picking up all of his goods, putting them back on the wagon, which makes sense. He had like a wagon. It was just him, like no wife, no kids, just this old man. Wagon toppled over the quake. He fell over, and this nice townsman, young lad, probably trying to help him out. No, let me help you. And he just freaked out. And now we probably are aware that the old man is. We see the old man is focused on himself. Like, does the old man respond to us? We ask the old. Now we're calling the old man, the northerner. The old man, what's wrong? Like, do you need help? How's he respond to us? Let's see. 99. Wow. Okay. Uncertain. Also warm, but uncertain. He looks up at us, but doesn't seem. He seems uncertain. I'll just use the word. He seems uncertain. He doesn't know what to make of us. He's trying to read us, but he's like, I don't know much about you. Like, I don't know about you. Like, he's not really doesn't really trust us. He judges us. Like, he's pointing at us. He's like, you, I don't know about you. Like, he doesn't really seem to take kindly to us. But he's not exactly overreacting. So while he's doing that, um, I'm going to ask him, "Are you from up north?" So I ask him if he is from up north. I'm just kind of playing. I'm being simple here. And how does he react to that? 98. Surprise. Surprise. So I think. There we go. Surprise. He is surprised by us asking that. He tells us, "You must be stupid. Like them stupid ones." Like he's like obviously surprised that we don't notice that he's completely differently dressed than the townsman, and so he's basically calling us out on our stupidity. So he calls us stupid, that we can't tell that he isn't from here. Does he just want us to leave him alone? 50. I'm gonna say very likely 15. Yeah, that's a very that's a um, acceptable guess. So he tells us to leave us alone, and so we look. I'm gonna look at the townsman, and the townsman just be like, what else can we do? So I think this event was unreachable. Like, nothing really could have happened. So um, we step away, and he puts his stuff back in the wagon, and he's going to continue pushing on. He just kind of continues on. The old man push basically walks on with his wagon, or continues on. So we just watch it. We just watch him walk away. But then we look back at the. We're going to turn around. I think it's time we just get out of here. Like, there's really nothing much for us to do. The key thing is a dead end at this point for now, and we got Sparky back. So that we did achieve that. We did get Sparky back. We step away. So I look to. I'm sorry, not we. I. Let's see here. I step away, and I look to the north. Do I see the volcano? I'm gonna say very unlikely. It's dark. Um, the clouds of rain. 77. Very unlikely. I don't see it. Don't see the volcano. It's too cloudy. Don't see the volcano. It's too cloudy. Rain. I pull my bag up tight, and we begin walking north. So I pull my bag up, Make sure, check on Sparky. Sparky's good. And I begin walking north. So let's go to the map and uh, copy this over here. So now in the next episode, we will be in this trail. So I enter the trail north of Bellhop. And that's where we leave off. So now, like literally, this picture would be ideal for that. There's a trail, and in the distance though, it's not that kingdom. It's gonna be an active volcano. So I might change the picture for these episodes if that's the case. But essentially, that's gonna be it for this episode. So um, this episode, all in all, like I think if we go back to our next episode here, let's do it. Let's do a name. Um, this episode was all over the place. I think again, I'm critiquing myself. I'm not trying to be too critical or too harsh on myself, but I think this episode was a little dry. There was some interesting moments with the family, but after that, I think I was kind of like, I was trying too hard to kickstart the engine. Like it wasn't essentially going anywhere. I might have been relying on the tables too much, but it wasn't too bad. So again, I have this theory that every other episode I do is, in my mind, good, while the other ones are mild. Like it's really up to you guys. Like what do you think? But for me, I think it's like this one was just up and down. Like I feel like I was trying too hard. I was all over the place. I messed up on a couple things. I almost retconned a whole event, but almost I stopped myself to an extent while I did change some things, and I have to trust the Oracle. That's the thing. When you do these solo plays, you have to trust the Oracle. You can't. You can re-roll. Like it says, a re-roll here if you're unsure, but rolling too much for this table can give you way too much information, too much meaning, and you're like. But there were times I was able to try to figure it out. So overall, I give this one middle of the road for me. Like it could have, the key situation we could have expanded on that, but I think because we did discover a huge fact that the volcano's ash kills people when it gets touched by kills living things. So that was a huge detail. I think the scene in the tavern was my favorite, but as you can see, we typically hit 80 notes or 90 notes, lines and notes in each episode, 70 to 90. Now that we're doing this digitally, I can keep track of this, but this one went really a little longer than possible. So, because we're already at an hour and 50. But in any event, I probably could have stopped at the watcher or the traveler appears, and we're like, what the hell? But I think I went a little too far on that. But we have to stick with it. This is the story, and I can't always expect it to be picture perfect in every moment. There's gonna be moments where like we're interacting with these townsmen, and um, there was a fight. It's too cloudy in the rain. Again, all this stuff, and I'm doing all these little corrections while I'm talking to you guys. But in any event, let's do a title for this episode. Uh, let's say episode will be called the volcanic ash. I'll just say that the volcanic ash. Because last episode was death from above because of the roof of the inn collapsed, but this one was more revealing. So I'd say the volcanic, the family letter or the family note. I'll figure it out. I think I'm kind of trying too hard to figure this out, but as for now, we're traveling up north, and that's really it for this episode. You'll see the title. I just can't think of it right now, but I think the volcanic ash was probably best. So, or no, you know what? I can't say anything about the Watcher or the Traveler. So, oh, you know what? Stories from up north. from the North. I like that. Stories from the North. That'll be it. So there you go. There's a title. And then questions. This will be episode 17. Can't believe we're almost hitting 20 episodes of this. Yeah, 17. And then the questions will be, what should we expect? Or any obstacles to encounter? Well, we're basically entering a new tile on the map. So, any new obstacles to encounter. The Watcher, the Traveler, we'll get some information on him. What does he do? What does the Traveler do? Or no, actually, you know what? What was the Traveler? We never really finished on that subject because he became a little too closed off on mourning his wife's death. What was the Traveler? What did the Traveler forget? I think that's it. That's good for now. We're kind of a fresh slate. Sparky's with us. We got Sparky back, which is a huge reveal. But again, I think. Oh yeah, then the Kingsman 3. Oh yeah, the Kingsman 3. I believe they're going to be a huge part of the next episode. The Kingsman 3. The whereabouts of the Kingsman 3. I really like their part of the story. Like that's really a big interest for me. So, but for now, that's it. And I, as always, appreciate you guys watching throughout my whole mess here on this episode of the Misfortune. But all in all, it's an absolute joy to make these videos for you guys, and it's just fun playing solo in general. And it's really, really fun. Creativity, imagination, all that stuff. And I'll just keep doing it because it's just, again, I just love doing this. So I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to write comments below, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time on 830 RPG.